8 years, over 10 projects with 5 future projects still to be done, over 2,000% increase in water storage capacity. Let us show you how we did it. The purpose of these videos is to really document our own journey as we try and transform our property using permaculture principles. We're learning everything as we go from scratch pretty much. Hi everybody, Scott here from Narrow Road Living. I'm excited about this video today because we're doing everything to do about water. So in this video I'm going to show you where we started. I'm going to show you the whole progression of the water harvesting system, as well as showing you 4 future projects. So where better place to start than in the food forest? One of the reasons we're starting here is because this is where the swales were installed. It was one of the first things that I did, and I'll just show you from this other perspective. So what we've got here is we've got 3 swales. Basically there's one swale there. They're all mini swales. There's another swale system along here, and then there's a third one across the front of the fence there. I reckon we can hold a couple of thousand litres, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 litres in these swales when they're at capacity. And what I've done is connected every swale with some 50 mil pipe. This top swale joins up to the second swale, and then the second swale here. I can link these pipes together so that the water will go from the first swale straight to the third swale and fill that up. I got it on. So that water's coming from swale 1 to this pipe here, swale 3. And then when this is at capacity, it overflows out of here and then out into the stormwater drains. Okay, so let me quickly show you the rest of the system that we started with. So this is the front of the house, and originally the gutters were set up in this fashion, but they would come down here and then out this pipe here at the front of the property, and then it would just make its way slowly across over to that large tree there. Okay, we're at the back of the property now. So this tank never used to be there, and the water would come off this part of the roof, so that's like a quarter of the house roof, and it would go down outlet there and then eventually make its way out at the front. The patio here never had a gutter, and the water would just pour off down onto the ground here. This pergola here never had a gutter either. It never had a roof. It was just open. We wouldn't capture any of this water either. Okay, so here is where we used to capture all of our water. So we would collect the water off a quarter of the house roof and all of the carport here. And there used to be a green tank here, a 1,000 litre tank, which would capture the water. And then originally there was a silver tank. The silver tank that's at the back of the house used to be here. And so collectively they held 2,500 litres. So at the start we were collecting the whole of the carport and a quarter of the house roof, totaled about 88 square metres of catchment area. But we only had a capacity of 2,500 litres. So the first thing that we did was move the silver tank to the backyard. Once the silver tank was moved here, it could collect all the rain off this part of the roof, which was like another quarter. So now we're at half of the roof that can be collected from at this point, and then the overflow goes out into the nature strip. There was already a pump with this tank. What that enabled me to do at the beginning was when we had a full tank and we had a rain event, I was able to pump some of that water to the swale system, either the first, second or third swale, just to keep the water on the property, create space for the tank to refill. So that increased our catchment area to 128 square metres. Now once the silver tank was moved, we were able to put together a foundation for this 22,500 litre tank, and then we had that delivered and installed soon after moving the silver tank, and this increased our capacity to 24,000 litres. I was able then to replumb the outlet to essentially go through our propagation station, which is the carport, and then it goes under these plants and then exits out the front of the property into the nature strip. That just makes its way into that area there. And I also installed a first flush. They can hold, I think, about 100-150 litres, maybe less. With this valve here, we're able to water this. When we have a real dry patch, we're able to just turn on the first flush and let all of that rain water this area. And while we make our way down to the south tank, just a reminder to please like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos. So this south tank has been a number of things that happened. Originally there was a dead tree out the front, and so we cut that down, and originally we cut it to the shape of a seat, but we never sat on it, and then eventually I burnt that stump out of the ground. There was also concrete paving that went all like straight across there, and so I smashed all of that up, and I actually used that as a foundation and as a way of building up this mound here, so that we could have at least some kind of a hill on our property, because it's flatlands out here. So that helped clear the space to then lay the foundation, have this tank installed. It's 22,500 litres like the other one. We had it plumbed to go under the house and then up and into the tank. So at this point we're able to harvest the entire roof of the house except for the patio, and that increased our catchment area to 203 square meters. That increased our water capturing capacity to 46,500 litres. I eventually linked from here the north and south tank with a 1-inch pipe, and so sometimes we can end up with like a lot of water in this one and not a lot in that one because we're watering the veggie garden. So I can just turn a couple of taps and it drains a good amount of water that we need into that north tank. Okay, back to the back of the property. This is actually something I've been working on for about 9 months. It's a mealworm farm. If you're interested to know more about mealworms, just let me know in the comments. Now, instead of using that pump there to pump water directly to the swales, hooked it up so that I could take water from the silver tank, and there's a pipe that goes under the house and then eventually comes up the side of the tank here, this black pipe, and into the south tank, and that just helps to increase the capacity or the amount of water in this tank to eventually overflow into our swale system. That, to give you context, the swale system is just over there. Gutter put on the patio that also fills this silver tank. So this installation here increased our roof catchment capacity to 219 square meters. The other thing I did was install this pump here that enables us to draw water into the silver tank from either the north or the south tank using the same pipe that I linked the north and the south tank to. So what it means is if we have a really dry period and this silver tank empties, because it doesn't take long to empty this when you're watering every day, we have the ability to pump water into this silver tank. What that's effectively done is now we can move water between the 3 tanks if we need to. The next thing we did, which I was really chuffed about, is when we had our chicken coop installed, we also had the roof put on, pergola and a portion of the chicken coop, so that we could eventually harvest water off this pergola, which we've done by adding, these are 200 litre black barrels, plumbed them to fill up. With this current system that we've got with the pergola, I'm able to bring water out of the chicken coop, and we're able to use some of that water to water the kitchen garden. And there's also a hose there where I can easily fill up a watering can to feed the water to the chickens. So all these things just save a little bit of time and just more convenient. And then eventually when they're full, they overflow here, come under the ground, and then up through across here, and then up and into the silver tank. So we've now got a range of roof space that's filling the silver tank, which means we get essentially more water in here for longer because we're able to collect more and more often. But it also means that when we get too much water, we can pump it elsewhere. So that brings us up to date with everything that we've done so far with the water harvesting system. So it increased our catchment, roof catchment to 234 square meters from original 88 square meters, and it increased our storage capacity from 2,500 litres to 46,500 litres. But we haven't finished yet. We've got another 4 projects that we want to complete that will really round out the entire process. So let me show you those. So we're back in the veggie garden, because one of the projects is to install drip irrigation here and also around other areas of the property. We've hand watered this entire time and it's just brutal. If we need to water everything because we're going through a heat wave or something like that, it could take 2.5 hours to water everything, and the idea that we could turn on a tap and it will be done for us, and we can do other things with our time is much more desirable at this point. Our watering by hand is now a liability, so we want to drip irrigate this area as well as the fruit trees around the fence line. We want to do this also with the family garden as well, and just a few other spots around the property. When I had the stand made for the black barrels, I also had a stand made for this green tank. So we uninstalled this green tank in 2017, so it's just been sitting around. But the idea, obviously make it level, and I'm going to put this green tank on top of it and have water coming, maybe passively or maybe with a pump from the north tank, just to increase water catchment by another 1,000 litres. But it also just gives us access to water up here if we need it, because this is the top northern point of the property, and it's really annoying having to go all the way to that tank to water something way up here. So if we need to hand water, we'll have access to water here. And the idea will be to grow some kind of maybe passion fruit vine around this green tank to help keep it cool and also to have a bite to eat. One thing we've learned over a lot of trial and error is that full sun in our climate kills plants. Plants in shade in our climate perform way better. While we sort of knew that, have known that for a while, and we've understood the importance of planting the shade and planting the rain, and evaporation is a real issue. What we're planning to do just for the veggie garden is to put up some shade cloth. There's another permaculture property about 30 minutes away from us, and they use a 50% shade cloth. They get an extra 50% productivity from using shade cloth. So I think using shade cloth will reduce the amount of watering we'll need to do, certainly reduce the amount of evaporation, and will mean that our plants have a much greater chance of growing successfully. So we're in the chicken coop area now where I've installed the black barrels. I'm not happy with it, and I'm going to put in a 600 litre Polymaster tank. Purchased it and we're just waiting for delivery. I just like the idea of increasing the amount of litres we can store, but also just not comfortable with black barrels. I'd rather just get something a little bit more trustworthy. The other project is to use this area here. Now we might need to move the sandpit for our son to a different location if he still wants to use it by the time we do the project. The idea is to put a grey water system here. It's next to the south tank to filter our grey water from our shower, bath and washing machine. So it would come under the house and in here filter. The idea I have at the moment is that would have at the other end of the system, that would pump the water into a tank of some size. Let's say it was here, then it would be pump it to like this height, and then have it gravity feed through just drip irrigation the bamboo here that needs a lot of water, the food forest, fruit trees, and also the front yard area. So that's my current thinking, something I'll probably need help with and just wait for the opportune time to do it. But okay, now we started in the food forest, so we're going to finish in the food forest. Thank you for subscribing and watching our content, and we'll continue to release more videos over the coming months. So stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you in another video. Thanks heaps for watching to the end. Subscribe for more videos and give the video a like. Check out our amazing beeswax candles. The link is in the description, and we'll see you in another video.